Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to have a discussion on what you consider your biggest regret or mistake in the Marvel Contest of Champions. You could have one, you could have two, you could have three. It could be a mistake of opening the wrong gym or ranking the wrong player. I'm very curious on your thoughts. My top one would have to be Agent Venom. He's not a bad champ, but at the time that I pulled him, I didn't have a very strong 5-star roster, and I was getting tired of fighting Spider-Man, and he had some ability to stop evades, and I thought he was a better champ, but he turned out not to be so great. But I ranked forward him, and I used one of my precious Awakening Stones 5-star skill on him. He was an okay champ, but he didn't hit very hard. He doesn't have the playing style I like, and often opponents seem to want to block his SB1, SB2. There's no champ in the game that I have more problems with blocking, having my special attacks being blocked than Agent Venom. I don't know why, I don't know if I time it wrong. Even if I do 4 hits in the special, sometimes they block it. Usually the opponents that are high attack always seem to block him. Anyway, I really regret taking him up to R4 and using the stone. Stone could have used for someone else so much better. Luckily, I got a rank down ticket at some point, and I brought him back down to R3. But I'll never get the Awakening Stone, obviously, back. So it was a big loss for me, but you know, you learn when you're younger in the game, and you don't really know exactly what to do, and all your friends around you are getting 5 stars and top champs, and you're just trying to catch up. So that was my first mistake. Now my second mistake would have to be Iron Patriot. He's not a big mistake. I pulled Iron Patriot from my first 5-star crystal, and I pulled him again for my second 5-star crystal. So he was duped right away. At the time I was lower level, I was running map 3, and he did well for me. He you know, he had his regeneration, and he hit okay, and he pushed opponents back with his SB1, and you know, he was a good workhorse back in the day when I was you know, lower levels. And for some reason I thought he'd be a good champ to rank up. So I ranked him up to R3 at one point to see, well, maybe everyone's wrong and his damage does a lot more. And it doesn't. He's a cool champ. He's got cool abilities, you know. He's got the SB1 that knocks you across the screen. He's got the SB2 that has armor break and stuns, and the SB3 that has a really long stun. But the guy just can't hit. So when you start getting up into higher levels against higher end opponents, he just doesn't do any damage. One day maybe it'll give him a buff, but for now he went down to R2 thanks to a rank down ticket in the past. And I even put a stone into him at one point. You see that 1-point stone. And you know, he's a cool champ, and I wish they'd give him some love, but that was a big mistake on my part. So the last mistake, even though I don't really consider it a mistake at the time, was Doctor Strange. Before the 12.0 version of Marvel Contest of Champions, Doctor Strange was a demigod or god tier. He really was one of the best characters in the game, but unfortunately that changed. But before that changed, there was a deal around Christmas time, I believe, where you could buy 3 catalysts of your choice from one class, and I chose Mystic, and I brought Doctor Strange up to R5. I awakened him, I put all those stones into the counterspell, the signature abilities, and for a little while I was killing everything. He was just a great champ, kind of like the Blade of the olden days. I used him everywhere, at Alliance Quest, Alliance Wars, very hard quest. He was my go-to guy. But then the update 12.0 came around, and even though he wasn't scheduled to be nerfed, he seemed to be nerfed hard. He lost his ability to health steal like he used to. He didn't hit as hard. The time between his abilities was increased. And yeah, he just turned out to be a pretty bad champ compared to the other Mystics. I was pretty upset and brought him down to R3. Not recently, but the last few months I brought him back up to R5 because I miss playing with him. And you can still use him in Alliance Quest and quests, but not so much in War, maybe on defense on a couple nodes, like on Unblockable 2 maybe, but still he usually gets killed there as well. But you know, I took him against Medusa on the debuff immune nodes in War, thinking that maybe the counterspell could take out her Furies, which it does, you know, which is great. But against an R4 and R5 Medusa, he just doesn't do enough damage, and I kept on timing out. So this is a champion that I love to see brought back into the game. I don't need to see him as powerful as he used to be, but he needs some love. You know, he needs some Scarlet Witch love or some Thor love, and just bring him back up to an ability that he used to be. So there you have it. Those are my 3 regrets, mistakes. I mean, there's been a lot more in the past, but I'd love to hear what you guys think, what mistakes you guys have made, and please like, subscribe, and join the channel, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
Target identified. Analysis complete. Please subscribe.